Okay, all right. So we have double upload for those who do and don't know, right? Channel. But the main one, as you guys can see for the title, is that the gaming crash. I've been talked about this. I even said it like literally like maybe mid PS4 generation, and then definitely at the end of the PS4. But I mean, because we already saw these videos. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. To me, it's already happened. One of the bigger indicators is the esports. It's like that's supposed to be like the peak of gaming. We have all this extra money, and it's fucked. I mean, you guys can go check out what's his face's video about the esports crash, and we even talked about it on the podcast. Like, you guys want to hear this, by the way, go to our podcast section, and you guys can see when we ever post it. Of course, if you guys want faster, go check out Detective Vile when he does it. We do these either Tuesday usually at 8 p.m. Central, more or less, even if not Wednesday. But yeah, no, we have other topics, by the way, that we're trying to talk about. We just got to talk about myself about the Microsoft one, but like, it's such a big deal. It's like, you know what? It's better that I get this out the way now, make it its own video instead of, you know, bringing it up in the podcast. Might slightly bring it up, right? And they're probably gonna see this too. But yeah, no, we literally call it. We posted it. I posted it somewhere. You know, like all the esports here. It's like, oh, but that's just esports, which is true. It's like maybe what, not a big real factor of it, but it's a bigger indicator of what's to come. And to me, one of the bigger things that gave away that the crash is here, in a sense, is look at the fact what happened with COVID, right? Oh, games were doing so good. You know, prices increased, all this other crazy stuff, right? But here's the better way to put it: if the Atari was at that same time, would we say, oh no, the gaming crash never happened, right? No, if the fact that the numbers were that good, it shows you the gaming was never in a good position in the first place, right? And now we're relapsing, and it's like, oh, it's not bad. And here's the best way, and I should say, in a sense, that gaming as itself, we're at such a big point that it can never truly be like, the thing is, the problem is that it will never be like the Atari kind of crash. Like, look at this perspective and this, like, you know, games could be at worst still be higher quality than Atari, right? Atari's biggest problem is because it was early, and quality and oversaturation and overpricing. That's the two factors which we have, and we do have bad quality. But people can look at game, like, here's a good example: games that I don't consider part of real gaming would be like your sports games, your iPhone games, and then the shit that they slop out that we all know is trash, like your yearly Call of Duty shit. Like, no one actively clears. Like, think about this: how many people do you really hear or see that give a shit about Call of Duty or Pokemon? Like, they're basically irrelevant now. Like, you can have all the numbers you want, but is that really gaming? No. Like, most of us, like, no, we literally look at that and go, no. Like, even people who play those, like, aren't happy. Like, just because something has sales, you know, doesn't mean anything. Just look at Xbox. They take Tango Works. Like, we all look at it. Think about it. Everyone unanimously went, why the fuck would you give it a Tango Game Works? But we still have 343, and that shit clearly is obviously ass. Like, oh, but they did really good at first, and now it's been like, no, when we mean in gaming crash, like, you can have all these copies of VT all you want, but if they're all trash, we all get scammed. Is that really, like, no, that's stupid. So looking at just like numbers like that, that's what I've been saying. Like, now more than ever, we have people going retro. Even Zoomers, think about it. Zoomers, bro, they've been like, oh man, retro's actually pretty cool. Retro's getting a resurgence. Like, indies, like, no one gives a shit about indies, and indies have been popping off. Like, this is actual fact. The AAA market has already been crashing, and that's the bigger thing I gotta say. Gaming is crashing, but only the AAA market. And the other thing is, okay, why is it, should anyone really care? Like, for the most part, not really. But what you do care, and this is the sad part, is that all the IPs you care about are fucked. Your Spyros, your Twisted Metals, your Jack Daxters, your all these things that you care about, you know, your Crash Bandicoots. And the funny thing is, you look at it, like, they're practically irrelevant. Most of these companies don't give a shit about them. They all don't care. Like, no, if it's not fucking Call of Duty or one of the big three, we did. That's okay. It's fucked, you know. And that's the bigger problem. I mean, even I mentioned in the video before, if you're in the studio, don't get bought out by these big ones, because they're just gonna kill. And the other thing is, this is what's really important: they can truly crash gaming. If, imagine if Microsoft bought all the other studios, then we're fucked, because they're all gonna fall down, and then we genuinely have nothing to play. Because again, I know y'all ain't gonna buy your FIFA. Fuck no, you have a brain cell. You're not gonna buy COD. And you're sure as fuck no one gives a fuck about Pokemon. And you're not gonna buy no iPhone game. Like, that shit always sells. But it's like comparing, like, gambling to like, no, it genuinely, it's not the same field. It isn't. You know, or some sport. Like, yeah, sports are all the same, but because, let's say, the MMA's not doing good, that means football's not doing good. Like, no, we're both in the realm of sports, but we're nowhere near the same kind of category. And that's what I can't stress. When we obviously mean games, we need good, high quality games played at a quality level at your home with a quality controller that is a quality art. Like, it's an art, like gaming as an art, not something there to waste your money, not something there to waste your time. Like, it is a genuine art. And again, specifically AAA gaming and games that we grew up with are just, the crash is here. There could be a resurgence, you never know. But as it stands right now, what, like Final Fantasy Remake is absolute trash. The reimaginings are mediocre. You know, all these companies, all of them. Square Enix, one of the worst, you know, for Japan. Capcom is just going down armory calling it. Capcom was kind of stupid bad. They're already pissed off. And here's one of the best indicators. I'm one of the main markets, obviously, like a hardcore gamer. And one of my biggest companies I sent for is Capcom, and they already pissed me off. I'm not paying $70 for your overpriced trash. They keep disappointing. I called it what happened with fucking Dragon's Dogma. And the Resident Evil 4 to me was just so boring and mediocre. I was like, yeah, I'm so done. I don't know what the fuck y'all were cooking with this one. I don't give a shit about their Booty Water Village 7 and 9 that's coming out. Like, I have absolutely zero interest. And like I said, it's just because something might have numbers. Yeah, again, it's just professional gambling. Like, just because they're like, hey, here you dumbasses, here's this Booty Water garbage. Oh, go spend microtransactions. Here's overpriced 70. That's not a game. That's not an art. It's not memorable. Like, you talk to any Resident Evil fan, like, a lot of them fucking hate current Capcom for Resident Evil. Like, they're not happy. Think about it. We've been so starved, they re-resurrected the Akuma mod for the old Resident Evil. And that's been the hypest thing for Resident Evil. A fucking mod for an old game that was a scrapped fucking mode. I was tight as fuck. I was like, let's go. Now I want to get that mod, and I don't even give a shit about it. Let that sing in. I don't give a fuck about mods. I really don't. But I was like, yo, Akuma and Street Fighter, something I've been asking. Like that's again. I always like Monster Hunter's been knocking it out with DLC. We have Akuma, we have your Resident Evil DLC. Like Monster Hunter's killing it. That's probably the only good thing they have right now. Hands down, that's saving them. And Resident Evil, oh, here's some shitty DLC. Oh, let's charge you for shit that should have already been on the game, and it's a reimagining, and it shouldn't be more than $40 in my opinion. But let's charge you 70 on top of charging more for something that should already be in the game, and this game's mediocre as fuck. But you get no Akuma DLC, no Mega Man Handbusters, like nothing referencing other Capcom IPs. Like that's so stupid. Like I'm sorry, but when I play Capcom games, I play to play Capcom games now. I don't come to play only Street Fighter, only everything. I better see motherfucking DLC of other Capcom IPs, because very clearly, like I said, AAA gaming's dead. When did we see a new Mega Man game? When did we see a new this? No. Like we don't. So see, Capcom. Like Capcom's one of the best examples. Oh, yay. They're dumbasses. Like Ubisoft's like, oh, we want to make it where you can. Oh, games. Oh, quadruple A games. You know, all this stupid shit coming out of their fucking mouth. EA wants to just only use AI. They're fucked. That's just, let's be honest now. Here's long story short for AI. It's meant to help speed up the process and make it easier. That's its only purpose. Trying to use it to replace people is the dumbest shit on earth. We're nowhere near that capacity for AI to do that. And who knows? Maybe objectively it will never be there. So they're just idiots. They're just lazy. Deadass. They're just lazy and they don't want to put in actual effort. Especially for something as an art form, it has to be man-made in my opinion. And then they want to put ads in games like they're constantly straining their player base. I mean, look at Sony. They're dumbasses. The main reason I think they made Plus cost more is because so many people dipped after they did their new subscription service shit. And like the fuck, you know. And a lot of people that were subscribed got unsubscribed and didn't even notice or didn't care to resubscribe. So that's fine. So they're trying to, like, you know, right now, AAA gaming specifically is just trying to squeeze the morons that are still getting cucked. Like I said, look no further than Final Fantasy VII, the reimagining. It's a reimagining, and it's able to remake, and I heard that it's getting sued because of that. And they're somehow turning a game. I've seen a great video that treated the shit out of it as a Final Fantasy fan. How are you turning a game that was one whole game, and they said maybe it take from this amount of hours. You took it apart into 4 parts and then stretched just the first part longer than the first game. How the fuck do you do that? And no, he said, no, you stretched it. You did an ad, you stretched, and then you charged $70. Like, to me, hands on, like, Final Fantasy fans, like, nah, bro, I think y'all are getting more cucked than FIFA and Call of Duty. For like, damn, imagine paying for a booty water game, falsely advertised, and 10 times longer than the original, and then they charge you 4 fucking times, bro. Damn, imagine getting cucked that bad. Could not be fucking me, dude. Crazy. And at the end of the day, everyone's just following track. Oh, same. They sold what the rights to Deus Ex and Hitman because they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with actual good IPs. You know, and any IPs that are maybe okay, like I said, Call of Duty's okay, Final Fantasy's okay. Oh, let's milk the shit out of it because these people are fucking morons. Like, that's just true. Tell me I'm wrong. Normie series, Final Fantasy for normies, Call of Duty for normies, sports games for normies. They're idiots, and the funny thing is that's like the only thing they play. Like, there is. Meet a COD player, meet a Final Fantasy player, and then meet like fucking whoever the other one I said. You'll find that that's all they fucking play. They're not really gamers. That's why, like, to me it's, which kind of back around is that right now we're at that crash. Like, as me as a market, I already stopped caring about most games when I realized Doom and Neo were the best things we had, and we were never gonna be here again. And that's what tripped by me. Like, because we have all the indie games we have, but let's be real, none of them are gonna get even half as close to the quality or maybe to the artistic value of Neo or Doom. And that's just an honest reality, because you need money to keep the bills afloat. You know, a big staff. Like you can get people, let's say, Like even one dev, like it took him like what 10 years just to make his game with Stardew Valley or some bullshit. You can get all the talented indies, trust me, and get them in one room. It's gonna be money, and it takes time and it takes experience, and that's what really sucks about AAA gaming. They get so many strong people and even new recruits that we're just fucked. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know when AAA gaming will recover. Like what I said, what I mean is when we're gonna have the IPs we like come back and actually get what we want, the IPs that we currently have not get fucked, and actually have games that aren't trash. Like, so how many open world games are just boring garbage? When will we actually have a good sports game? Like that it's a good indicator. I think the last ones we had was in the PS3 era. After that, they've all been fucking garbage. Like no one gives a shit about sports games, even racing games. Forza's like the best thing we had, and I heard some people were booty hurt about that because they have outdated models. You know, like that ass. Think about it. Like that's a good indicator. Like things everybody buys. Like no, now it's like a niche. Like what happened? Like a lot of this stuff. Like you could, back in the PS2 days. Oh, here's my here's my whatever PlayStation Forza. Here's Crash Bandicoot. Here's COD. Like you had people like normies and gamers. We all had the same shit. Here's our GTA. Here's this that. Now it's like people are just segregated, and they only fuck with that shit because people, only the morons who get cucked. Oh, I'm gonna keep playing this. You know, and the actual gamers, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, and to me, I'm like, I don't give a shit about the new Crash Bandicoot. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not paying more than $40, and they don't even put that much effort in it, and they don't even put marketing. So the only people who care are people who are Crash Bandicoot fans. Like we're just, A good part of it is just pricing, and then to me, the biggest thing is how it really hit. Like I said, COVID, and people just don't have the money. The budgets are too over bloated. The games aren't good. There's no artistry in it. But on the bright side, it is the rise of the AAA indie, in my opinion. Like the gaming market has crashed. Like if you are the kind of person who's hopeful, oh, the next Halo is gonna be on, or anything, like if it's an IP that exists and it's by one of the big companies, you're fucked. You will get fucked, whether by your wallet or in disappointment. And you may not know it, but you're just getting fucked. Like look at FIFA fans. They don't realize they're getting fucked. They're dead ass gambling, and they're getting fucked.
How's your day going, my man?
But yeah, it's going good. I'm just getting this rant off the way because I'm posting it for the video. But yeah, that should about round up. But the gaming crash has been happening. Like I said, I haven't really bought barely anything new. I'm just trying to buy old games and get my backlog out the way. Like I said, right now it's my last month of PS Plus. Like I don't really see a point in still paying. And there's a bunch of old games I'd rather play. And if I'm gonna put my money, I'd rather do it into an indie game. But yeah, that just rounds out my thoughts. Like we're already the crash is already here. People don't realize it. It's just gonna really kick in within the next year or two. I mean, people aren't even interested in a Pro. I think a Pro's pointless. The PS6 comes out, they said, "Oh, we're halfway through the PS5." Like, bro, people barely right now have a PS5 as it stands. As far as I'm concerned, the PS6 comes out, gonna do absolutely terrible. No numbers. People were already turning in their PS5s. They're like, "Because the PS5 has no games." And yeah, that about rounds it up. Just if you ask me and anyone else, like, it's already over. Anyone who actually still believes in it, just you look at them and be like, "Oh, that's a normie." Doesn't really count. You don't look at a normie and go, "Oh, that's like a gamer." You know, it's like looking at an iPhone person who's a gamer. Like, nah. You know, you gotta realize it's just a completely different market. It's like looking at, like, yeah, like I said, I mentioned earlier at the beginning. But yeah, that's it. That'll round up the thoughts, you know. So, and then again, go check out the podcast when we talk about it. We'll probably lightly touch on this, but I'll reference this video specifically. Because like I said, so much happened that I felt like having to talk about it. Go, and again, want more details on the Microsoft video, go check that out on the link below. Yeah, I think I'll run up my thoughts.